Hi, my name is Mark Walker and I'm the editorial director at the Fintech Times, and we're here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at Seamless. We're running Seamless TV. We have a great interview lined up for you now, and I'm going to ask my interviewee to introduce himself to you, the audience.
I'm Zain Ansari. I'm a co-founder of Xpence. We're based out of the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Pakistan, and Bahrain.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, just start off by giving us a little bit of an idea of when and how the idea came around for Xpence.
So about 3 years ago, our CEO Saad and our CTO Constantine had met to start on a project called ClickCash, and we're looking at doing peer-to-peer payments. At that time, us being entrepreneurs, we always faced issues with business banking. And we said, let's find a solution within business banking that we can come and take over, and which was expense management. So we started off, our core product is expense management, and we do invoicing with that as well. So a company onboards with us, they open their company account and issue cards to their employees for expenses. And you can control where your employees spend the money. So if you have someone that is on a business trip, you can say that they can only use their cards on hotels and airline spends and restaurants, for example. And if you have someone working on ground in the city that you're operating in, you can say that this person can withdraw cash X amount, they can withdraw once a day, twice a day, and the limitations on it, and of course the vendors that they spend the cash at. We are aiming to become a super banking app. And the whole idea is that we're building different modules to add on to Xpence. So you have expense management, we have invoicing, we're going into salary cards, so the payroll, and also into lending. So we launched in Bahrain. We started from there. Recently launched the UAE 2 weeks ago. And we're overwhelmed with the amount of customers applying for Xpence at the moment, which shows us that we have a great market fit and that this is a product that is needed in the market. Actually, just before I walked in, one of our customers from Dubai was here as well, so he just come through to say hello and was telling us how much we've made his life in the last 2 weeks. He's one of the first customers saying that how much his life has become easier when it comes to managing expenses.
Interesting. And I guess from the point of view of the system, it's kind of more applicable to the sort of SMEs, the smaller businesses that don't have the big ERP systems and everything else.
Correct, 100%. So our beachhead customers are companies with 20 employees or less. But what we have noticed is that larger corporates are coming to us too. And it is something that they're missing in the market as well. One being that we are a prepaid system, so it's not a credit system, and that you can integrate us into the accounting systems that you're using in the company today. So if you're spending on expense, you can take a CSV file, put it into Zoho, for example, or your SAP accounting or whatnot, and you can read all the information. Your employees are taking pictures of their receipts as well. So everything is booked into the expense application. At the end of the month, in a normal company where they don't have an expense management system, the accountants sit for days just going through receipts, going through payments, who's filled out this sheet, who's filled that. And then the employee who's out of pocket has to wait until that's done and everything is approved and agreed, and then get that money transferred to the next salary. Over here, we don't put the strain on the employee. We take the financial pressure off of the employer as well, meaning that they don't have to spend hundreds of man hours between the actual employee spending the money and the accounts department just reconciliating and paying out. So it is a win-win situation, one for the employees not going out of pocket, and then for the employer as well.
Absolutely. And obviously, talk a little bit about your expansion. Obviously, starting in Bahrain, I'm assuming you've got quite a good customer base there. What was the reason for choosing to come to the UAE first of all?
So, I mean, we're looking at the GCC as a whole. So our plan is every country within the GCC. We started in Bahrain because we had the opportunity to start over there. It was the right size market for us to come out and test our product. And we've really liked the companies in Bahrain. They like new tech and they're adaptive to our systems. UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Pakistan, they're all part of our plan. So we are looking at the MENA region, so the MENA and Pakistan. One, you have underbanked countries within that region, and two, the need. So there is a market need, and we believe that each market requires a product like Xpence, and so we can move into each of these markets. So we've, as I said, we launched the UAE. We're working on Saudi Arabia at the moment, working hard on that, and then Egypt, and then finally we'll go over to Pakistan, and we have more markets to come in the future.
And have you seen any sort of regional differences that you've had to overcome from, say, coming to Bahrain to?
Of course.
UAE?
So every region. Every regulatory bank has their own rules and regulations, and we have to apply to those rules and regulations. So there is a difference in the type of product that you can provide, meaning, do you have a wallet with your service? Can you lend money? Can you? There are lots of different things in the market that change, and all in all, in general, our product is the same product all around. But you have different rules in different countries, and we switch on and off options depending on the country that we're going into.
It makes sense, because obviously, as you say, every single region is slightly different, not only to the rules, but also to the ways that people perhaps want to use the service as well.
Correct. And in general, within the region that we're in, it's quite uniform. You have the same, of course, the same type of thinking and the same type of businesses. So bringing in a product that's been missing from X market, it's also missing in Y market. So whichever country we're going to, we're getting that sweet, like, home welcoming. Like, you're coming here, you're solving our issues. It's great, and it's lovely to see our customers, sending us messages. This has changed the way we do invoicing. This has changed the way we're managing our expenses, and that definitely shows us that we are bringing in the right product, and all the markets are accepting it. Regionally, everything, as I said, is similar. The only differences are on the amounts you can do based on the licenses that are provided.
And do you think this is signifying a sort of a wider trend of what we call embedded finance, where we're trying to get lots and lots of different solutions into one sort of system or software? Everyone is pushing towards the open banking. I think banks and the central banks have seen that fintechs are an added value, and the banks are now using fintechs for the third-party services, or fintechs coming up on their own. And I think the ecosystem is very welcoming, and the fact that we'll have open banking means you can pull data from whichever business, and it gives us more data points to collect as well. As a business, when you want to assess another business or a client coming on board, you have several data points to look at with open banking. And Saudi Arabia is doing amazing in that sector at the moment. Yeah, I think probably for my final question was going to be around that. Obviously, Saudi is pushing ahead quite quickly with open banking in line with its Saudi 2030 vision. Do you think the UAE and Qatar and Bahrain will be following suit?
I believe they will be following suit. I think all the central banks are aligned with what's happening in the future. I mean, this is my personal opinion. So I think that just one starts, and then the rest move on. And it's very different over here, as each country, although we're very close, we're all neighbors, but we have different regulations across each border, different to Europe, where you can passport with one license through 27 countries, something like that. So I mean, it is interesting. But I mean, the banks in Saudi Arabia are really pushing. The central bank is very supportive. Fintech Saudi is doing a lot as well, and very supportive to all the new fintechs that are coming on board. So you have a lot of Q&A, a lot of support from them, helping fintechs coming into the market and be part of the ecosystem.
Fantastic. I think that's a wonderful place to leave it on. Absolute pleasure to be interviewing you for Seamless TV, powered by the Fintech Times.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.